Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Let's see. I'm gonna get started. I'm gonna get started. I pray that y'all are well. If you're watching this on replay, welcome. Um, just getting some things taken care of. I pray that you all had a fantastic day. I pray that your day was well. I pray that you all are well. I pray that your families are well. I pray that you had a fantastic day. I pray that you made the most of your day. Hold on. Let's see. Hiya, y'all. We're gonna, as I said, we're gonna get started. Y'all forgive me. Um, let's see. I'm just doing some things here. Nope. I don't want to do that. Okay, you know what? Since this is not cooperating with me, let's see. Okay, well, I guess it's not cooperating with me. We just gonna move on. Good evening once again. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Dr. JaNee Mobley. I'm affectionately known as Dr. JaNee, and I help women overcome mindsets that prevent profit, progress, and prosperity so that they will have the boldness and the bravery to move forward in their purpose with confidence and surety, which are two of the same thing. If you all haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Also share, text this link out to about 2 or 3 people and share it. We're going to go ahead and get started. So one of the things that I want to share with you all on tonight, we're going to talk about 3 ways to align yourself with your next level. 3 ways to align yourself with your next level. And when you hear next and you hear level, right? The first word we're going to talk about is next, right? So next is I'm here, right? We're standing here right now. What comes after? Or what is the following step? Right? So think about where you are right now. And the first way to align yourself with your next level is to identify what is next for you. And you may be saying to yourself, Dr. JaNee, I don't know what's next for me. The Bible tells us that we have not because we ask not. Ask and we shall receive. So one of the things that I make a habit of doing is when I don't know, I ask. And God begins to shift things to show me and reveal to me what my next is. Or he reveals to me what the answer to my question is. So that is something that you should ask. What is my next? What is next for me? Think about your position and your purpose, your passion. You may be working a job. And first of all, if you all are tuning in with me for the first time, type in a 1 in the comments. And if you are a returner, type in the 2. Either way, thank you all for joining me. First timers, thank you for joining me. And then, of course, those who are seasoned, always love having you all back, right? So you need to identify what is next for you by asking the question. Think about where you are right now. It's just as if you are working a job and you wanted to be promoted, right? You started out at an entry level position and you want to elevate to a leadership position. That leadership position would be your next, right? So you want to get clear on what your next level is. Get clear on that. Ask yourself the question, what is next for me? You may be in business. And here's the thing, don't make it financial. Identify who else it is that you're supposed to help, or even deepen your reach in helping those that you have been called to serve. How can I serve them at a greater level? How can I serve them at a better level? And let me tell you all something. The key to getting to your next level first starts with you. A lot of the times we are daring to reach these goals. Good evening, everybody. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Also, text this link out to about 2 or 3 people, right? So a lot of times we set these goals, but we neglect that we have to work on us in the process. Remember, at the core of your next level is you. You are at your core. You can't expect to ascend if you neglect working on the very person that is daring to ascend and elevate. You want to be ready. I've heard my coach say this 1,000 times. I've heard Dr. Myron Golden say this 1,000 times. You want to be the person who can do the thing. So you may be saying, well, what is the thing? What is that thing for you? Let's say you have your goal, your next level is a financial level, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, right? You may be saying, hey, I want to make an additional $10,000 a month, or an additional $10,000 per quarter, or an additional $10,000 in a year. But what does that look like? Who is that person? Who is that person? One of the things that and even as I build my business, I am consistently asking myself, who is it that I need to become to get to my next level? And let me tell y'all, every time I ask that question, God always stretches me. And what does that look like for Dr. JaNee? Sometimes the things that I'm supposed to do, I just don't feel like doing. Let's just be honest and put it out there. Sometimes the very thing or things that I'm supposed to do, I don't feel like doing. Can I be honest? Before I hit the live button, I was laying in my bed cuddling with our son, because I do believe in making sure that while I'm building a business, I need to always build and cultivate the relationships that I always have. Because what does it profit a man or woman to gain the whole world but lose his soul or lose her soul? So I believe in spending time with my family while I'm building my business, as I'm building my business. But let's be honest, I didn't feel like hitting the live button tonight. But you know what? I understand that my feelings, if I allow them to, will get in the way of me doing what is necessary to get me to my next level. My question to you tonight is, what emotions are you allowing to get in between the very actions that you need to take that will get you to your next level? What are the things that you're saying you don't want to do, you don't feel like doing, but you know are necessary that will get you to what your next level is? So number one way, the number one, 3 ways to align yourself. I had to get myself together. I get excited, y'all, because even here's the thing, in all transparency, while I'm speaking to you all, one of 2 things has either happened or is happening. I'm either teaching to myself or I'm teaching you what I've already experienced. I'm teaching you what I've already experienced, or I'm teaching you what I'm teaching myself and what I'm experiencing right now. See, one of the things that I truly understand is that a lot of the times when you set a goal, your intention is right and you're excited and you're saying, hey, I'm going to do this. However, life happens. Then your commitment is tested. So number one, Number one way to align yourself with your next level is to actually get clear. Let me get back to my notes. Identify what your next level is. Clarity is everything. When you have clarity, it is easy for you to have vision. See, I have sight, thank God I can see y'all. But it takes vision for me to see past y'all. I see my current state, but vision allows me to see what lies ahead or what I desire. That takes vision. That's vision. And vision requires clarity. Clarity on who created you and clarity on who you are. So you need to identify what is my next level. Because other than that, you'll be going in circles. And you will be going nowhere very fast. And you'll find yourself years later wondering, where in the ham sandwich did the time go? Like, what is happening? Right? So number one, get clarity. Ask yourself, what is my next level? What is my next level in my purpose? What is my next level in my finances? And the things that I'm asking, the questions that I'm giving you all are questions that I've asked myself. I have an income goal this year. I have a health goal this year. So while I am pushing y'all, trust me, Dr. JaNee is pushing herself. I'm pushing myself physically. I'm pushing myself mentally. I'm pushing myself because I know it's required. I am no longer comfortable. Here's the thing. I am uncomfortable at the level that I'm at. I'm content, but I'm not comfortable. I'm grateful, but I'm not comfortable. And let me tell you why. Because I know that there's so much more. There's a greater impact. There's a greater influence that I have been called to have. So I'm no longer comfortable at this level. I'm grateful for the level, right? I'm content with that level, with this level, because the Bible says, and what does he says? Be content in every state that you're in. So I'm content, but I ain't comfortable. This word comfortable, like do not get comfortable, has been ringing in my spirit. And when I tell y'all, the more I hear it, the more uncomfortable I become. Discomfort got me out of that bed and caused me to hit the live button. I had on my pajamas and everything, y'all. Everything. Do you imagine? Do you know what it's like to get in your comfortable spot, your warm spot in your bed, and then you know it's time to get up and do the things that you just don't feel like doing or you don't want to do? But baby, I'm here for it because I'm uncomfortable. And one of the things that I understand is that God loves me so much that he will allow me and you to be uncomfortable to show us as a sign. Hey, Jazzy, right? As a sign that it's time to make a move. See, if you're working a job and you're uncomfortable, you're bitter, you're unhappy, that is a sign and a symptom that it's time to move to your next level. You have outgrown or outpaced the environment that you're in. Your discomfort is letting you know that. God is, excuse me, not the discomfort, but the discomfort is a sign. You wake up in the morning grunting because you don't feel like going there. It's a sign, sis, bruh, whomever, that it's time for you to shift. See, when we get comfortable, you get stagnant. And one of the things that I understand, we weren't created to be stagnant. This is the reason why, if you all understand that when you lie sedentary, it leads to health issues. Sedentary means that you lack or you are lacking movement. We weren't created to be stagnant. We weren't created to just sit for the rest of our lives and do nothing. Again, this is why when you become sedentary or have a sedentary lifestyle, your muscles ache. You start having health issues. Some people have poor circulation because we were built to move. We were built to execute. We are God, one of God's best, or his best creation, his best living thing. You weren't born to be stagnant. That's why you're uncomfortable in the place that you're in. Even if you're living in a certain environment and you're uncomfortable, that's a sign it's time to start shifting. I already know that while I'm grateful for our house, it's time for us to level up. And it's not about the house. It's not about the house at all. It's about elevation. But here's the thing, before you elevate physically, it is best for you to elevate mentally and emotionally. Be the person who can handle the elevation. Be the person who can handle the growth. Hi, Max. Be that person. Because here's the thing, you don't want to ascend and can't maintain it. You don't want to ascend and cannot multiply that which you have been blessed with. So again, number one, get clarity on what your next level is. And number two, ask yourself, I started digging into this already. Ask yourself, who must I become to reach the level that I am seeking? Who must I become? Make that a question that you always ask yourself. You set a goal. I don't care if it's a financial goal. Thanks for the hearts. Good evening, y'all. Right? I don't care if it's a financial goal. I don't care if it's a health goal, a business goal. Always ask yourself, who must I become? Once you get clear on your next level, ask yourself, who must I become in order to reach the level that I am seeking? Because again, you want to elevate internally before you see the external elevation. Imagine being promoted on a job that you're not ready for. Imagine the stress, imagine the anxiety, and more importantly, imagine being ill prepared. Let me give you one that's even deeper. Imagine being thrown on a stage to speak and teach to a crowd, and you have absolutely no training on how to teach or how to speak to an audience on any subject. That is literally what it is like to elevate to another level physically, but not first mentally and emotionally. Dr. Sonia and Dr. Myron Golden always say this: be the person who can do the thing. So, who must you become in order to reach the level that you desire? I want to make $1 million. Who must I become to handle, to manage, to multiply $1 million? Who must I become? I remember I graduated from pharmacy school. And before we graduated, one of the things that they would do, I actually believe, is kind of like a hook and what they call a hook and sinker. I'm not sure if that's the phrase or not. But the year that we graduated from pharmacy school, a couple of months prior to our graduation, Walgreens partnered with our school to have one-on-one time or to sponsor like a lot of our events. So what did that do? Of course, that was great marketing on Walgreens' part. So a lot of what my classmates did, of course, you saw Walgreens, some people intern with Walgreens. And because Walgreens was, talking that money, a lot of my classmates went to work for Walgreens. Nothing wrong with that. However, a lot of us graduated literally out of the gate of pharmacy school. Many of us were 24 years old, 23 years old, in what was it, 2007, straight out the gate, making six figures, right? But lacked the money management. Got bonuses, didn't understand that with bonuses, high bonuses come what? High taxes. I didn't sign up for none of that. I didn't want to do none of that. I didn't work for Walgreens. I went on a whole nother path, and so glad I did. Nothing wrong with that, but that wasn't my path, right? So a lot of people bought big ticket items, very ignorant of the responsibility that came with the things that they invested in, and put them in a financial bind and a financial strain, along with the student loans that you already committed yourself to even before you graduated. What happened? They experienced the external elevation, but wasn't prepared internally for the elevation. Imagine growing up in a family or even studying along the way how money works, how to invest money, how to offset the tax that you're about to incur on this $50,000 bonus or $10,000 bonus, how to offset it, or being aware that you can positions you a whole lot better. But when you don't know, when you're not ready for the physical elevation, you put yourself in a position where you can suffer a loss. So, who must you become to be the person who can ascend to the level and the levels that you desire? What rooms do you need to get into? Who do you need to become to attract those type of opportunities? What type of connections do you need to build? And who must I become to attract connections that are full of resources and wealth? Do I need to shift my mindset to invest in my next level? And here's a mindset shift here. If you literally dare to go to your next level, do you realize that you're going to have to invest on some level to get there? You're going to either have to invest in the education, and no, I'm not just talking about college. You're going to have to invest in being aware. You're going to have to invest in the education of what your next level is. Do not be afraid to input money in yourself. It amazes me. It amazes me how most people have been taught that it's better to spend money on yourself than in yourself. Oh, I need to do a live about that. I think I am. I think I need to notate that. Hold on. Hold on. Right? So culturally, not all cultures, many of us are taught you make some money, go buy you some shoes, a belt, go buy you some clothes, a bag. And trust me, honey, JaNee is all for a bag. I love me some purses. I love me some accessories, right? I love all of those things. And there is nothing wrong with those things. But I have observed people be hesitant. And trust me, I had to shift to this person because I wasn't raised like that. Right? I wasn't raised like that. My mama was good with money. She wasn't no big spender. My daddy was. You know, he liked nice things. So I think I'm a mixture of the both of them in that right? But nobody taught me growing up in the household to invest in your knowledge. Invest in learning skills. Invest in your mindset. Invest in spending time with someone who has already accomplished what you dared to accomplish. Think about what an investment truly is. The goal of an investment is to put your money in a place where your money will then multiply, and that money that you put in will make you more money. That's what an investment is. An investment is I put my money here, I come back, and I expect to see more than what I put in the ground. That's what an investment is, essentially. But many people, and here's the thing, if you have kids, teach your kids to invest in themselves. Right now, I have our 11-year-old reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad. because I want him to have an awareness of opportunities outside of just going to college. And trust me, nothing is wrong with going to college, but everybody is not college built. Everybody is not college built. I want our children. The Bible says that a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. While my husband and I are going to leave an inheritance for our children's children, I also am invested in us teaching our children about wealth, not just through conversation, but demonstration. So what can they do? Do the same thing. Be that good man and woman that leaves an inheritance for their children's children. So ask yourself, who must I become to reach the level that I so desire? Number 3, excuse me, y'all. Hold on. Look, I had to make sure I wrote down that talk title because I'm gonna have to come. I'm gonna have to come and talk about that tomorrow. That it's better to invest, to put your money in you than on you. Because let's just dispel this. Let's reshape and shift the way that we move. Let's have conversations about money and educate our children, even at young ages. My husband has a business. Guess what? He took our son. He takes our son, or he took, well, rather, he took our son to work with him. So our son is aware that there's more than one way to make money than working for somebody. Yes, he knows that that's an option, but he also knows that he can start a business and get paid and also help others feed their families. How about that? Right? And lastly, number 3, how do I align myself with my next level? Commitment. Commitment. And let me tell y'all, commitment is something that I'm learning I am on a whole new level of understanding with commitment. A whole new level. Let me tell y'all how much of a level. I like to strength train, right? And one of the things that I committed to doing was doing push-ups, doing the adjusted push-ups, right? As well as working my way to doing the non-adjusted push-ups, if I worded that correctly. So every morning, a couple of maybe about, oh gosh, I wish I would have dated when I started. But probably a month ago, I saw this video with Darius Daniels, and he was on this particular short. It showed him starting like off his day with doing some push-ups, and I said, you know what, I need to start doing that. So I said, you know, I'm gonna start doing push-ups every morning. Y'all, I've been doing push-ups every morning, right? Remember I told you about them non-adjusted push-ups. Doing the first one initially, it wasn't until my husband gave me a perspective. He was like, yeah, JaNee, it can be challenging lifting your own body weight. And let me tell y'all, I didn't think about that. I was like, I didn't think about that, but it made more sense. So I said, you know what, nonetheless, I'm going to commit to it. I wake up every morning. And that first push-up was so hard. But I said, I'm going to come back. I'm going to keep on coming back until I get that one push-up. And guess what, y'all? I got one push-up done. And then getting to 2 was a challenge. Getting to 3, oh my gosh. My arms started to get sore, but I said, I'm going to keep showing up because I'm committed. No matter how I felt, because most mornings I don't feel like it. That's why I'm saying, don't allow your feelings and your emotions to prevent you from doing the very things that will get you to your next level. So guess what? I kept showing up. Now I'm up to, at my highest, 6 non-adjusted push-ups. at my highest right now. And let me tell y'all, it is a commitment that I have done. And I'm so proud of myself. What am I saying? Commitment requires that you show up and do the things that you said you wanted to, that are required for you to get to your next level, even if you don't feel like it, even if you are tired. Because I got some stuff I got to do as soon as I get done on here. But guess what? I'm going to get them done. One of the things that I've learned, and I'm going to share this with y'all. I have learned with a lot of the stuff that I know I must do, I can't think about it. I just have to do it. I just have to do it. Because if I sit and think about all of the stuff that I have to do, chances are I'm not going to want to do it, and I'm going to move slowly. But if I don't want to do it, okay, let's go and get this out the way. Let's get this done. Don't give yourself time to talk yourself out of it. Do what you need to do. Because here's the thing, if you do the right things long enough and you commit, you trust the process, you know that what you're doing is going to lead results regardless of what it looks like right now. Continue to show up. Continue to do what is necessary that's going to yield the results. Continue to do the right things. Because again, you can't expect to elevate. No, here's the thing. You don't want to elevate physically, but not be ready mentally, not be ready emotionally, not be the person who can do the thing, not be the person who can build a business, not be the person who can multiply millions, not be the person who can't manage millions. You want to be ready. So if you want to be ready for your next level, align yourself. Stare that thing right in the face. Get clear on what your next level is. Ask yourself, who must I become? And commit to being the person. I pray that this has blessed you all. You all have an amazing evening. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Also, click the link below to get your free gift. You all have an amazing evening and day. And remember to know your worth. Good night, y'all.